Hello my loves, Tony here from TL Yarn Crafts and welcome to my channel. And welcome back to Yarn Snob Reviews, where I say how I really feel about new yarns from a crocheter's perspective. This time I'm bringing you 6 summer yarns from an American brand that you might not know, but you certainly should. Meet Berroco. For each of these yarns, I'm sharing my initial reactions, likes and dislikes, and rounding it out with my rating of 1 to 10 hooks. I also just got my nails done and it makes me want to pack a Skittles real bad. Today's video is brought to you by our kind sponsor, Bright Sellers. Now, Bright Sellers is a monthly wine subscription service that pairs you with wines you're gonna love. Discovering new wines can be a whole lot of fun, but what I've found is that there's a lot to learn. Don't ask me what temperature to chill white wine to or which wines go with different foods, and I still don't know what a tannin is, but thanks to Bright Sellers, I don't have to. I started by going to the Bright Sellers website and taking their 7-question quiz. Within that quiz, you're gonna tell them about your flavor preferences and your wine mood, and they're gonna put together a 6-bottle box of delicious wines and then deliver them straight to your door. I've got my 6 bottles and my box cutter. Let's see what's inside. The first treasure you'll come across are these lovely wine cards, which give you information about each of the bottles in your box. But let's talk about those bottles in your box. They're sourced from around the world, and the sommeliers at Bright Sellers put together this box just for you. There's some pretty delicious wines in the box this time around, lots of options, but I'm gonna go with this apostate one because it can be served room temperature, and also it's got a twist top. Clearly Bright Sellers knows the way to my heart. Ooh. Ooh, she juicy. Oh yeah, that's good. I really like that. I can leave a review of this wine on Bright Sellers website and they'll use that information to even better tailor my next box. You can click the link down in the description to save off of your Bright Sellers subscription. And Mother's Day is right around the corner, so don't forget about those gift cards. A special thanks to Bright Sellers for sponsoring this video and to you for watching. I appreciate you so much. And while we're here, let's give some love to our Cup of Caffeine sponsor. Now, I don't have any more caffeine, but I do have my lunch and your girl is hungry. Just a little bit of leftover salmon and rice from last night, but oh my gosh, it is so good. Today's Cup of Caffeine sponsor is Leanne, and when donating, Leanne said, "I love your YouTube videos. My grandmother taught me to crochet when I was young, and I just recently started again. You make me excited to make all kinds of projects, and your sunny personality and soothing voice make me happy. Thank you for your love of crocheting." And thank you so much, Leanne, for the donation and for your incredibly kind words. Y'all keep me going day after day like you have no idea. Now, if you enjoy my videos and want to support my channel, buy me a coffee. Who knows, I might shout out my next video. Now let's talk yarn. First up, let's take a look at Splash. This cute little 50-gram hank holds 131 yards of DK weight yarn. This chain net yarn is made from 70% viscose and 30% organic cotton. The strand is so loosely chained that it almost looks plied, but it doesn't unravel, so you can look forward to a happy crochet experience with no splitting. One skein is going to set you back $11, and you get to choose from 8 very unique colorways. Each colorway has a solid background like blue, gray, or cream, with these short bursts of color to break the monotony. My first reaction to Splash was utter confusion. The way this yarn looks does not reflect how it feels. It's a little tough to explain, but the closest fiber I could compare this to would be like linen, but not necessarily the nice stuff. See, it has this dryness to it with this underlying softness, but it kind of feels like you're crocheting with paper, if that makes any sense at all. Now, I needed to adjust my tension a few times to get this yarn to work with my metal hook, which was a little bit irritating. A wood hook likely would have solved this, as wood is a little bit more grippy and is going to prevent the yarn from sliding so much. Since this is obviously a summery yarn, I went with a mesh stitch pattern to try it out. Once I got over the dry, somewhat scratchy nature of the yarn and focused just on the stitching, I became a bit enchanted by Splash. The fabric is flowy but holds its shape, and it was downright delightful seeing these little drops of color pool together over the mesh pattern. It made me want to keep stitching just to see more of that color in my fabric. The unfamiliar texture of this yarn led me down a rabbit hole about viscose as a fiber. The Cliff Notes version of my research is this: viscose is a man-made fiber produced from cellulose, commonly wood pulp, and more often Bamboo. It was originally designed as a silk alternative and is often added to warm weather fabrics. It's known for its absorbency and breathability, but requires a delicate care process and has the tendency to shrink. On the whole, I was pleasantly surprised by Splash, so I'm going to give it 6 out of 10 hooks. Processed crocheters likely will not like this yarn as it's not very soft and the overall texture might make your brain glitch. But the resulting fabric is perfect for those spring and summer projects that you're planning. Airy tops, summer bags, and lightweight shawls will sing in this yarn. And if you take care of it properly, items made from Splash will last forever. I personally think Splash would make a stunning Camaro crop top. The tiny pops of color will add lots of personality to this fun piece. Find the pattern linked down below. Next up is Gaia, a sophisticated tweed made from completely recycled fibers. The 50-gram donut balls have 140 yards of DK weight yarn, making it slightly lighter than Splash. The strand is also a chainette made up of multiple plies of recycled cotton and recycled polyester, with areas of fluffy cotton to give that tweed effect. This cutie patootie also clocks in at $11 per skein, and you get to pick from 9 intense colorways. Eco-friendly yarns are all the rage in the knit and crochet world, and we can see Berroco making a real effort with this one. Gaia's cotton content shows through upon initial touch, but it's immediately followed by that plasticky feel that I just can't get past. Recycled polyester is showing up more and more on our yarn shelves, and I can confidently say that I am not here for it. Now, I'm not going to lecture you on the environmental impacts of yarn, but just know that recycled polyester isn't the godsend that many manufacturers want you to believe it is. If you've got 5 free minutes, do a little research and come to your own conclusions. But I digress. Can we talk about this color? Gaia claims to refine our definition of a summer yarn, and by the look of it, it certainly does. While there are only 9 colors in the palette, each one is thoughtfully designed. The color plays tug of war with its neutral undertones, giving the look of well-loved denim. As far as the stitch experience, it was pleasant. Gaia performs like a cotton yarn, flowing smoothly out of the ball, over my finger, and into the fabric. I didn't have any issues with splitting or slipperiness, and I was able to maintain my gauge throughout the process. So if the colors are amazing, and the crochet experience is pleasant, I should love this yarn, right? But sadly, I just didn't. I actually found myself growing more and more apathetic with Gaia the longer I worked with it. I can recognize how thoughtfully the colorways came together, but the swatch just didn't inspire any excitement for future projects. By the end of my swatch, I felt like I'd gone on a date with a quote-unquote great guy that I wouldn't call again. Gaia was nice enough, but it's just not the right one for me. Gaia's gonna get a 5 out of 10 hook rating this time around. A middle of the road score for a middle of the road experience. Not to say that Gaia isn't a lovely yarn, but I need my yarn to make me feel something. I have pretty limited time to crochet, so I'm super picky about my yarns, and with so many options out there, I can't see myself reaching for Gaia over the alternatives. Now, if you want to give Gaia a go, try out my Caroline shawl. The lightweight feel and gorgeous color of Gaia would make this pattern come to life. Find the link to the free pattern and tutorial video down in the description. Thankfully, Pima Soft gave me everything Gaia was missing, but let me not get ahead of myself. Here we have a DK weight ultra soft 2-ply cotton yarn with a medium to light twist. The 50-gram bullet skein holds 124 yards of the cuddliest cotton you've ever touched. Each skein will cost you just $7.50, and you get to choose from a palette of 29 glorious colors. I'm talking primary colors, pastels, summer brights, and an array of neutrals. They've got something for every interest. Now, in case you're new here, hi, welcome. One thing you need to know is fiber is everything if you want to better understand yarn. So let me give you a micro lesson on Pima cotton. Like most fibers, there are levels to cotton. The most common cotton is called upland cotton, which is easy to produce and makes up about 90% of the cottons that you're going to find on the market. The remaining 10% is made up of 2 higher end cottons, Egyptian cotton and Pima cotton. Both of those cottons are known to be smooth, soft, hard-wearing, and wrinkle-resistant. Their main difference is their origin. Pima cotton is grown here in the US, while Egyptian cotton comes from the Nile River Valley. In the case of Pima Soft, you can tell from the very first touch that you've got something special and valuable in your hands. Now, I'll tell you this, I was obsessed with this yarn before I even started stitching with it. The light just bounces off of this yarn, giving it a luster that telegraphs its pure luxury. But there's nothing quite like those first few stitches. And ooh-wee, I haven't touched a cotton to make me feel like this in such a long time. The color is solid throughout the skein, and the 2-ply twist offers stellar stitch depth. definition. I tried a new to me Tunisian crochet stitch and Pima Soft made it sing. I didn't want to stop. If it's not obvious already, I really like this yarn. So I'm giving it 9 out of 10 hooks. Yarn like this is infinitely versatile. The obvious application is summer tees, tanks, and sweaters, but baby items and home decor should be on that list too. And at this price point, you don't have to break the bank to wrap yourself in luxury. It's hard to come up with critiques for such a perfect yarn, but I would love to see more colors. Honestly, this line could easily have 100 colors at this price, and maybe offer Pima cotton in 100 or even 150 gram skeins. It's easy to commit to a yarn this lovely. Do you want to take Pima cotton for a spin? Try out my Cabana Cardi. The lightweight cotton will feel like heaven on your bare summer shoulders. From one stunner to the next, say hello to Vivo. This adorable little munchkin is on the lighter side with 317 yards per 100 grams. Berroco is calling this a DK weight, but I'd say it skews a lot closer to sport. It's made of 100% cotton and has a thick, thin texture that adds loads of character. For $15 per skein, you get to choose from 12 tropical colors, each one offering a different self-striping option. Now be honest, have you ever seen a yarn more inviting than Vivo? I couldn't get this yarn out of the shipping box fast enough. Now, I'm not usually attracted to thick, thin yarn, but with Vivo, the texture is intriguing to see and to touch. The strand itself is made up of 4 plies of cotton. In the thicker areas, 2 of these plies are fluffy cotton to give the yarn some volume. While not a great choice for beginners, as this makes maintaining your gauge a little bit tricky, it does add an extra layer of intrigue to a yarn that already has a lot going on. Now this yarn isn't 100% perfect. While being soft to the touch, the yarn is a bit stiff to crochet with and there's nearly 0 stretch. At times it felt like my hook was fighting with the yarn to complete the stitch, but that's not uncommon with cotton. Cotton becomes softer with washing, so make plans to block your finished projects before wearing or gifting. Now I'm gonna admit, there was a time when I used to turn my nose up at cotton. I was traumatized by my early crochet days when I was relentlessly steered towards kitchen cottons that tore up my hands. Vivo and other yarns like it are helping me see the potential in cellulose-based yarns. There's immense versatility in a yarn like this. It takes well to both open and close textures, making it perfect for dozens of projects, and not just in the summertime. Clothing, hand towels with matching washcloths, and breathable hats or headbands come to mind immediately. Vivo is going to get 8 out of 10 hooks for me, leaving some room for the yarn to improve. The main drawback is the limited color palette. With 12 bright shades, the neutral girlies may be a bit disappointed with this one. Also, the lack of more neutral shades makes this yarn a hard sell outside of those peak summer seasons. Toss in some tans, some dusty browns, and some creamy white shades, and we can talk about adjusting that rating. Now, I think Vivo would make a great choice for my Montego shawl, which debuts as a free pattern with tutorial video during the 2023 Crochet Academy Crochet Along. You can learn more about my Learn to Crochet event in the video linked in the top right corner and sign up for the completely free email course right now. Lessons kick off Monday, May 1st, so don't miss it. There's always at least one yarn in the bunch that I just don't vibe with, and this time around it's Lumi. The 50-gram skeins come in a cardboard core that holds 137 yards of some of the weirdest DK weight yarn I have ever tried to use. It's made up of 80% cotton, 18% polyester, and 2% other fibers, whatever the heck that means. And for $11 a skein, you get to pick from 10 different colorways, each a bit more unique than the other. Now, I knew Lumi was going to be an issue for me from the starting chain, but I could hear my mom in my head telling me to just try it. So I did, and I can say that I unequivocally do not like this yarn. Let's start with the yarn strand itself. The strand seems to be made of a cotton center with lengths of metallic wrapped around it. Metallic is already a hard sell for me since it has no stretch and no give, it's not soft, and my crochet hook hates it. In the case of Lumi, the metallic seems to be there just for the aesthetics, and that's just not enough of a reason for me to spend my time with it. Beyond that, the stitching itself is literally painful. The biggest problem was that I couldn't see my stitches. And I'm not talking just a case of poor stitch definition here. The light bouncing off the metallic made it literally hard to focus on the fabric. So I switched to Tunisian crochet and that made things moderately better. The stitches were still slippery, but at least I could see where I was meant to go next. I was able to hit my groove once I realized that I needed to tighten my tension and not loosen it. Also, the wood hook was the perfect choice for this yarn. The metallic is slippery, so so it needs a hook with a bit of a grip to get that tension back. After about 10 rows, I started to see what could make this yarn so special. The glow of the metallic creates an intriguing contrast with the cotton, and the fabric feels equal parts fancy and casual, suggesting that it might be appropriate for an array of projects. The drape was truly like none other. It's flowy, lightweight, and airy, just like you'd hope a summer yarn would be. Even with this moment of clarity, I still wasn't quite vibing with Lumi, so I'm going to give it 3 out of 10 hooks. It's a yarn I would typically overlook upon first glance, and stitching didn't redeem it for me. I'll be the first to admit when a yarn is more suited for knitting, and I'm happy to give Lumi over to my 2-needle divas. With so many delicious summer yarns on the market, I'd rather just work with something I love over something that I have to deal with. But if you are hell-bent on using Lumi for a crochet, try it with my Catalina tote pattern. The close stitches and playful stripes will play nicely with the shine of the metallic. A new version of an old favorite, modern cotton DK is quickly becoming a staple in the Berroco lineup. This 100-gram hank holds 335 yards of deliciously soft DK weight yarn. The fiber breaks down to 60% Pima cotton and 40% modal rayon, a semi-synthetic yarn that's heralded as a better version of viscose. $11 seems to be a sweet spot for these summer yarns, and modern cotton DK follows the trend. One big plus is that you get to choose from a fantastic palette of 32 colors. The colors are solid throughout, making this yarn a great choice for color work and bold striping. Now, I'm no stranger to the modern cotton collection from Berroco. I used the original worsted weight version to make face cloths and scrubbies for gifts back in the day. Now with the DK weight version available, I'm just totally smitten. The majority fiber being Pima cotton, so I get the softness I'm looking for. And beyond that, a sizable modal rayon content adds some special positive features. Modal rayon was developed back in the 50s and continues to be a great alternative to viscose. The process saves costs and waste when compared to viscose, and modal is praised for its lightweight feel and wicking properties, both of which are attractive features for a summer yarn. The strand is made up of 4 loosely spun plies, each of which is its own 2-strand twisted ply. While the cotton is void of any significant stretch, I can still feel how lofty and bouncy it is as it glides over my hook. The stitch definition is out of this world, and the solid colors means this yarn would work well for just about any stitch pattern. Open or closed stitches, lacy, textures, or simple, whatever you're planning to stitch, modern cotton DK can take it on. Since I'm so familiar with stitching modern cotton with traditional crochet, I decided on Tunisian crochet this time, and I was not disappointed. There was no splitting, the stitches were prominent without standing out too much, and my hook flowed effortlessly through the stitches. I can confidently give modern cotton DK 8 out of 10 hooks. This is the kind of yarn that finds a permanent place in a well-curated stash. My main critique is that I would love to see the DK weight version expand the color palette to include all of the shades available in the worsted version. Stitch up a few of my merci cloths in different colors of modern cotton DK for a Mother's Day gift that's right on time. I really hope you enjoyed exploring these new yarns with me. You can find these and more yarns from Berroco at your local yarn store or via the links that are down in the description. Which of these yarns spoke to you, and what do you think you'd make with them? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let me know what yarns you'd like to see me review on the next Yarn Snob review. Thank you so much to Bright Sellers for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye!